He had 90 seconds to live. The doctors were 7 minutes away, and the only people who could save him were two 7-year-old girls he'd treated like slaves. What happened next defies every law of medicine and will leave you speechless. Welcome to the story room. While you are here, please hit the subscribe button and comment your view on the story and where you're watching from. Let me tell you about a man who had everything, yet had nothing at all. In the heart of London, there lived a tech mogul named Victor Ashford. At 45 years old, he built an empire creating software that ran half the world's banks. His penthouse overlooked the Thames. His cars cost more than most people's homes. His wealth could feed a small country. But Victor was the angriest man you'd ever meet. His rage wasn't just bad temper. It was a wildfire that burned everyone who came near. His steel-blue eyes could cut through a person's confidence like a knife. Staff trembled when he walked by. Business partners dreaded his calls. Even his own family had stopped visiting years ago. He'd gone through 9 personal nurses in 4 months. Not because they were bad at their jobs, but because Victor couldn't stand anyone caring about him. When Nurse Williams suggested he needed rest, Victor grabbed an expensive vase and hurled it against the wall, shattering it into 1,000 pieces. "Get out of my home," he roared that Wednesday morning, his face red with fury. "I don't pay you a fortune to tell me how to live my life. Leave now, or I'll make sure you never work in this city again." Nurse Williams grabbed her things and ran. Everyone who worked for Victor knew that tone. Someone was about to be destroyed. The moment the door slammed shut, Victor collapsed into his leather chair. His head felt like it was splitting open. The room tilted and spun. His vision went blurry. Fear gripped his heart, but Victor had built walls around himself so high that he'd rather die than show weakness. He was dying, and his pride wouldn't let him admit it. In the enormous kitchen of that London penthouse, 2 small girls washed dishes in silence. Lily and Rose were 7-year-old twins with matching brown curls tied back in simple ribbons. They wore plain gray dresses with white aprons. They were the youngest people working in that mansion, though working wasn't quite the right word. Their mother, Sarah, was Victor's head housekeeper. 8 months ago, when sickness nearly took her life, she'd begged Victor for one thing: let her daughters stay with her instead of being sent away to strangers. Victor had agreed, but with cold conditions. The twins had to earn their keep by cleaning and staying out of sight. "He just fired another nurse," Lily whispered as Victor's angry voice echoed through the halls. Rose nodded sadly. "Mum says he's getting worse." "I can feel it too," Lily said quietly, her small hands pausing over the dishes. "Something terrible is happening inside him." The twins had always been different. Since they were tiny, they could sense when someone was sick. It was like a whisper in their hearts that told them when something was wrong. And stranger still, when they placed their hands on sick people and concentrated really hard, the pain would fade away. Their mother had cried the first time it happened. "You're special," Sarah had whispered, holding them close. "But you must never tell anyone. People won't understand. They might take you away from me. Promise me you'll keep the secret." Both girls had promised. So now, even though they could feel the darkness growing inside Victor's head, they said nothing. It happened on a Thursday afternoon at exactly 3:15. Victor's assistant, James, found him collapsed on the floor of his office. His face was white as snow. His breathing was so shallow you could barely see his chest move. His eyes had rolled back, and his body had gone stiff. "Call an ambulance. Mr. Ashford is dying." Staff came running from every corner of the penthouse. The butler tried shaking Victor awake. Nothing happened. Housekeepers started crying. Sarah ran down from upstairs, but her daughters were already pushing through the crowd of frightened adults. "Girls, stay back," Sarah shouted, terrified. But the twins didn't listen. They had that look in their eyes, that strange, calm knowing that came over them when someone needed help. They reached Victor's side where he lay dying on the cold marble floor. "Everyone step away, please," Lily said with a voice that made grown men obey. Before the story continues, subscribe. These stories are written to change lives. Rose knelt down and placed her tiny hand on Victor's chest, closing her eyes. After a moment, She spoke with certainty that shouldn't come from a 7-year-old. His heart is beating too slow. Maybe 38 times a minute. There's something blocking the blood in his brain. On the left side. The adult stared in complete shock. How could a child know this? Lily knelt on the other side and placed both her small hands on Victor's temples. Rose is right. I can feel it, like a dam that's about to break. If we don't help him right now, he'll die before help arrives. What are you talking about? The butler stammered, his voice shaking. Please be quiet, sir, Lily said gently, her eyes closed. We need to focus. The twins positioned themselves carefully. Lily's hands on his head, Rose's hands on his chest and forehead. They closed their eyes and became completely still. The room fell silent. 20 staff members watched these two small girls in gray dresses do something impossible. Then people started feeling it. Warmth coming from the girls' hands. Real heat that you could feel from feet away. Some swore they saw a soft golden light glowing around their fingers. For 3 minutes, the sisters didn't move. Their faces looked peaceful, like they were somewhere else entirely. Then Victor gasped. A huge, gulping breath that filled his lungs. His eyes flew open. Color flooded back into his pale face. His body relaxed. His breathing became normal and steady. Everyone jumped back in shock. Victor blinked rapidly, confused and disoriented. His gaze fell on the two small girls kneeling beside him, their hands still glowing with fading warmth. Who are you? He whispered, his voice hoarse and broken. What did you just do to me? Lily smiled softly. You were dying, Mr. Ashford. A blood vessel in your brain was blocked. We helped you. Helped me? How is that possible? We don't fully understand it ourselves, Rose admitted, her voice small and honest. We've always been able to feel what's wrong with people, and sometimes we can help fix it. That's impossible, Victor whispered, but there was no strength in his denial, because the crushing headache was gone. The months of dizziness had vanished. His mind felt clearer than it had felt in years. The paramedics arrived 7 minutes later to find Victor sitting up, fully awake and alert. His vital signs were perfect. The lead paramedic checked him over and over, growing more confused each time. We got an emergency call about a major stroke, but your readings are completely normal. What happened here? James tried to explain about the children and their hands and the warm light, but it sounded absolutely mad. The paramedic looked at the twins standing quietly in the corner. Did you do CPR? No, ma'am, Lily said politely. We helped in our own way. Victor was rushed to hospital. Doctors ran every test they had. Brain scans, blood work, neurological exams. The results made no sense. The scan showed clear evidence of a recent stroke that should have killed him or left him paralyzed. But they also showed something medically impossible. Victor's brain had created new pathways for blood flow in minutes, something that normally takes weeks or months. I've been a doctor for 30 years, neurologist Dr. Patel told Victor 4 days later, shaking his head in disbelief. Your brain rewired itself instantly. Whatever happened before the ambulance arrived saved your life and prevented catastrophic damage. It was 2 7-year-old twin girls, Victor said quietly. They placed their hands on me and healed me. Dr. Patel looked skeptical. Sometimes trauma creates false memories, Mr. Ashford. It's not false. 20 people witnessed it. Those twins did something neither of us can explain, but it happened. I was dead, and they brought me back. Victor returned home on Sunday evening, shaken to his core. For 5 days, he thought about those 2 small children who'd saved him. And he thought about how cruelly he treated them. He called Sarah and the twins to his study. They entered, terrified, holding hands tightly. Sit down, Victor said quietly, his voice softer than anyone had ever heard it. The twins looked impossibly small in the big leather chairs, their feet dangling above the floor. I need the truth, Victor said, his hands trembling. All of it. Sarah took a shaky breath, tears already forming. My daughters have a gift, Mr. Ashford. They've had it since they were 4 years old. They can sense sickness in people and sometimes heal them. When doctors told me I'd die in 3 months, that was 8 months ago. My girls have been helping me every single day. I'm getting better. We didn't want to tell you, Rose said, her voice barely a whisper. Mum said you'd think we were freaks and send us away. Shame washed over Victor like a tidal wave. She was right, he admitted, his voice breaking. A week ago, I would have done exactly that. I'm not sending you away, Victor said, and tears began rolling down his face. The doctors said I should be dead or brain damaged, but I'm completely fine. You didn't just save my life. You gave it back to me. Tears streamed down both twins' faces now. But why? Victor's voice cracked completely. I've been nothing but cruel to you. I made you work like servants when you should have been playing and laughing like children. I didn't even know your names. Why would you save someone like me? The twins looked at each other, then back at Victor with those impossibly wise eyes. Because you were dying, Lily said simply. And we could help. It doesn't matter if someone's been mean to you, Rose added. When someone's hurting, you help them if you can. That's what you do. Victor broke completely. Sobs shook his whole body. These two 7-year-old children had shown him more grace, more love, more humanity than he'd shown anyone in his entire adult life. The next morning, Victor called every single staff member together. I've been a terrible person, he said simply, his voice steady but filled with emotion. A cruel boss and an even worse human being. 9 days ago, 2 7-year-old children saved my life when no doctor on earth could help me. He gestured to the twins. These girls have a gift I cannot explain. But more importantly, they have something I'd lost. Compassion. They saved someone who'd been cruel to them because it was the right thing to do. His voice grew stronger. Sarah, your daughters will no longer work here. They're children. They belong in school, playing with friends, being kids. I'm ashamed it took a miracle to make me see that. I'm enrolling them in the finest school in London with full scholarship. Sarah, you're getting a raise and complete medical coverage for your family. And everyone here is getting better pay, full benefits, and reasonable working hours. I've been a monster. That ends today. The staff stood in stunned silence. Then the oldest housekeeper started crying. Others began to applaud. That evening, Victor found the twins reading in the library. May I sit with you? He asked softly. They nodded, smiling. Does it hurt when you use your gift? No, Lily said brightly. It feels warm, like hugging someone you really love. Can you heal everyone? Sometimes it works really well, Rose said thoughtfully. Sometimes we can only help a little bit. And sometimes people are too sick, and we can't save them. Her voice grew sad. We tried to help a bird with a broken wing once. It died anyway. We cried for days. Victor's heart broke all over again. Just children carrying an impossible gift and an impossible burden. I have an idea, he said. If you're willing to hear it. Over the next 4 months, Victor hired kind researchers to understand the twins' abilities, not to exploit them, but to help them. Scientists discovered the girls could diagnose conditions with incredible accuracy just by touch, sensing problems before any machine could detect them. In critical cases, they could help healing happen in ways science couldn't explain. But Victor made sure research never overwhelmed them. The twins went to school. They made friends. They played. Their gift didn't define who they were. Then Victor proposed his biggest idea yet. I want to build a free medical clinic, he told them one afternoon. If you're willing, you could visit twice a week after school for just 2 hours. You'd help doctors with difficult cases. But I need you to understand something. You'd be kids first. School, friends, playing, that all comes before everything else. We'd help lots of people? Rose asked, her eyes bright with hope. Yes. Many people who can't afford help anywhere else. The twins held hands, smiled at each other, and nodded. The Ashford Community Health Center opened 11 months later. It had the best equipment, wonderful doctors, and treatment that everyone could afford. Twice a week, Lily and Rose visited for 2 hours. They'd hold patients' hands, close their eyes, and whisper to the doctors what they sensed. Tumors found early. Heart problems detected before symptoms appeared. Rare diseases identified and treated. People started calling them the Angel Twins. Victor watched them one afternoon. Lily held an elderly man's hand, her face peaceful and focused. Rose made a sick child laugh while sensing where his pain was coming from. Sarah appeared beside Victor, healthier than she'd been in years. "They're remarkable," Victor said softly. "They are," Sarah agreed. "But so are you now. You've changed completely." "They didn't just save my life," Victor said, his voice thick with emotion. "They reminded me that I had a soul worth saving." 2 years have passed since that Thursday afternoon. Victor is unrecognizable from the angry man he used to be. He's donated millions to medical research and community health. He volunteers at the clinic. He's reconnected with his family. But more than anything, he learned the most important lesson of his life. The greatest power in the world isn't money or control or success. It's compassion. And sometimes, the smallest hands carry the biggest miracles. Thanks for your watching. If this story touched your heart, please like and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. What would you have done? Comment below. Subscribe for more incredible stories about hope, healing, and the power of human kindness. And remember, you never know when your act of compassion might change someone's life forever.